First 1,000 days on Mars. It seems like everyone has Mars on their mind these days. NASA wants to send humans to the Red Planet by 2030, and SpaceX wants to get there even sooner, with plans to have people there by 2024. Mars is a favorite theme in Hollywood, with movies like The Martian and this year's Life, exploring what we might find once we finally reach our celestial neighbor. But most of them aren't addressing the biggest questions. Once we get there, what will the initial days be like? Will we be able to survive? In this video, we're going to talk about the possibilities on how we can start human life on Mars. But before we finally move, we request you to support us and check out the given links below for amazing deals. Let's dig in. On a space mission, timing is everything. An intricate choreography of commands and actions is required to make any such mission a success, and none more so than an escapade on the surface of another world. Let's understand the hypothesis on how we can start life on Mars as a human. Number 1. Getting there. Within the next decade, NASA will finally have a spacecraft capable of making the journey to Mars. The massive new 2,500-ton SLS, combined with the Orion capsule, will enable astronauts to explore beyond the safety of low Earth orbit for the first time since the end of the Apollo moon program in 1972. Although any long-duration mission is also likely to employ a habitation module, giving the crew a bit more room to move around in, the 9-month trip to Mars is going to be uncomfortable and boring. It could also be extremely dangerous. Number 2. Become self-sufficient, the initial 500 days. Having successfully landed on Mars, you need air, water, food, and power to survive. In the short term, you could rely on supplies brought from Earth or sent on supply missions, but eventually you're going to have to produce your own. NASA's 2020 rover, essentially an upgrade of Curiosity, will carry an electrolysis experiment to extract oxygen from carbon dioxide in the Martian atmosphere. Evidence suggests that Mars was once awash with water, with lakes, rivers, and oceans. Today, it is highly likely there is still water at the ice caps, possibly under the surface. Extracting water from urine and sweat through an efficient recycling system, pioneered on the International Space Station, will certainly help, but will not be enough to sustain a community. So, tapping into a local water source will be essential. Producing food on Mars could be much more difficult. Conditions on the surface of Mars are closer to the conditions on Earth in terms of temperature and sunlight than on any other planet or moon, except for the cloud tops of Venus. However, the surface is not hospitable to humans or most known life forms due to the radiation, greatly reduced air pressure, and an atmosphere with only 0.16% oxygen. But in 2012, it was reported that some lichen and cyanobacteria survived and showed remarkable adaptation capacity for photosynthesis after 34 days in simulated Martian conditions. Some scientists think that cyanobacteria could play a role in the development of self-sustainable crew outposts on Mars. They propose that cyanobacteria could be used directly for various applications, including the production of food, fuel, and oxygen. And maybe, we could get some oxygen to breathe. Haha. Number 3. Expand. Next 500 days. The first Mars settlers will be living in the capsules they arrive in, perhaps augmented by a few extra capsules sent ahead and maybe some inflatable domes. But just as settlers will be utilizing local resources for water, food, and energy, they'll also hope to use local materials to build a larger colony or even spin-off colonies. At the very least, it would make sense to use Martian rock to bury the habitats to help shield occupants from radiation. Later, the surface could be drilled to form caves, or rock could be excavated for building materials, just as we build houses from stone on Earth. It might also be possible to extract useful minerals for metals or glass. Number 4. Have children and establish a culture. Life beyond 1,000 days. Assuming our sperm or eggs have not been zapped by cosmic radiation on the way to Mars, something space agencies are already giving serious thought to, then sooner or later a certain percentage of settlers are going to want to have kids. It is, after all, the only way of perpetuating the colony over generations. For it to be successful, the population needs to be large enough to avoid inbreeding over subsequent generations. A child born under the red sky of Mars will have a very different outlook to one born on Earth and may never return to the homeworld, just as many descendants of European settlers in the US do not have passports. Every step to establishing human civilization on Mars is perfectly possible. With a focused effort, it is very much doable. One question then remains: do you really want to go? I mean, really? Mars is a bleak, cold, airless, rust-stained world. Simply staying alive will be a daily challenge. Give it a thought. That's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to hit a like, and we'll be back very soon. Till then, goodbye.